They both had the same tattoo, a single word, shh, inked on a finger. When the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner reported on the decomposed remains found in a Tesla trunk, that small mark stood out, a detail later echoed by family members who confirmed it matched 15-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez, missing since April 2024. For David, born David Anthony Burke, the same tattoo is something he has shown publicly. Could this tiny shared symbol connect two lives in ways no one expected? Or is it only coincidence shaping the speculation? What came next made the question impossible to ignore. On September 8, 2025, a foul smell inside a Hollywood tow yard drew staff to a Tesla that had been sitting impounded for several days. The car had been towed from the Hollywood Hills 5 days earlier after being left abandoned on the street. When police were called to investigate, the vehicle was opened, and inside, they discovered decomposed human remains. Soon, those remains were identified as belonging to 15-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez, who had been missing since April 2024.
Investigators now say that the victim, Celeste Rivas, reported as a runaway last year, had not been seen since.
The car itself was a 2023 Tesla carrying Texas plates, registered to 20-year-old David Anthony Burke, the musician known to fans as David. That detail alone quickly propelled the story into national headlines.
Body found in the trunk of a Tesla registered to the singer David. Authorities have identified the victim as Celeste Rivas Hernandez.
At the time of the discovery, the LAPD made clear that no suspect had been identified, and officials said they had no suspect information to release. Representatives for David stressed that he was cooperating fully with the investigation and even canceled a scheduled show in Seattle to remain available. Yet despite the lack of direct accusations, the discovery of the missing girl in his vehicle raised immediate and unsettling questions. Accounts of the condition of the body underscored the seriousness of the case. According to the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner, the remains were decomposed, consistent with someone who had been dead inside the vehicle for a prolonged time. Identification came through a combination of evidence: a tattoo on the right index finger that read, shh, the clothing and jewelry described in the examiner's report, and the further confirmation by family members and law enforcement that it was Celeste. The coroner deferred both cause and manner of death, stating that more analysis was needed. Adding to the confusion, reports continue to differ on specific details about how and where in the car the body was discovered. Some outlets cite law enforcement sources saying the remains were in the trunk, while other accounts mention a bag located in the vehicle's front compartment. With no official clarification beyond what's in the examiner's report, those contradictions have only fueled speculation. The timeline is equally troubling. Celeste had last been seen in Lake Elsinore, California, some 70 miles from Hollywood, back in April 2024. For nearly a year and a half, her family and local volunteers searched without resolution. Then suddenly, more than 500 days later, her remains surfaced in a vehicle left on a Hollywood street. Who left that car there? How long had her body been inside? And how did it escape notice until the odor became undeniable? Each unanswered question widened the public's sense of unease. Investigators also face a puzzling disconnect in geography. The Tesla was registered in Texas, tied to a young artist whose career was gaining momentum. Yet it turned up abandoned in Los Angeles. Without any evidence pointing to violence at the site where it was left, and no surveillance footage released to connect events in between, the car seems to exist as an isolated piece of evidence. A vessel without a clear chain of events to explain how it came to hold Celeste's remains. Media coverage expanded rapidly once the connection to David was reported. Some outlets published photos they claimed showed him in Lake Elsinore, not far from where Celeste lived, just before she disappeared. Authorities, however, have not confirmed those images as evidence or drawn any official link from them. Still, the circulation of such material heightened public attention and created even more scrutiny around his proximity to the case. As of the last official statements, the coroner has not determined how Celeste died. The LAPD has said there is no suspect information, and David's team continues to emphasize his cooperation with investigators. These careful, limited disclosures point to an investigation still in its earliest stages, where facts are scarce and speculation fills the void. What remains is a strange constellation of details. A vanished teenager, a car tied to rising fame, reports that do not align, and a timeline full of gaps. Each element seems to invite its own theory, but none so far resolve the larger mystery. It leaves us standing with only what's been confirmed, while the questions that matter most, what happened, when, and why, stay unanswered. A car abandoned on a Hollywood street, a teenager missing for over a year, and a tattoo noted in the coroner's report. Those details have now become the central focus. The shh tattoo, documented on Celeste's right index finger, was later recognized by her family and has also appeared in public photos of David. Whether this overlap is a meaningful link or simply coincidence remains unproven, and investigators have not drawn any conclusions. What is certain is limited. Celeste Rivas Hernandez has been identified. The medical examiner has deferred her cause and time of death, and the LAPD says there is no suspect information. David's representatives emphasize his cooperation, which included canceling shows after the discovery. Right now, official answers are few, and that silence has fueled intense speculation. If you followed this story, tell us in the comments what detail you think matters most, and subscribe to stay updated if new information becomes available.